Have you ever felt like you give love to everyone but forget to give it to yourself? You help others. You care for them. You smile even when you're tired. But when it's time to love yourself, something inside stops you. Maybe you feel guilty for putting yourself first. Maybe you think loving yourself means being selfish. Or maybe, deep down, you believe you're not good enough to be loved. You see, we live in a world that teaches us to love others, but it rarely teaches us how to love ourselves. We grow up learning how to make people happy, how to be kind, how to say yes, but not how to say yes to our own hearts. So we lose connection with ourselves. We start looking for love in other people's eyes, hoping they will tell us who we are. And when they don't, we feel empty again. But here's the truth. You can't truly love anyone else until you learn to love yourself. You can't feel complete in any relationship until you feel whole within. Because when you love yourself deeply, you stop begging for love. You become love. You stop chasing approval. You start living freely. Comment if you've ever felt this way. In this video, I'll guide you on a gentle emotional journey. A journey to fall in love with the most important person in your life. You. Together, we'll explore how to understand, forgive, and accept yourself. You'll learn how to stop fighting your reflection and start becoming your own best friend. By the end of this video, you won't just understand self-love, you'll feel it. You'll walk away knowing that you are enough, that you deserve peace, and that you are already worthy of love, just as you are. Let's begin this journey together. Chapter 1: The Mirror. You avoid. There was a time I couldn't look in the mirror. Not because I hated my face, but because I didn't know the person staring back at me. Every time I tried, I saw only mistakes. I saw failures, regrets, and imperfections. I saw someone who tried to please everyone, but always felt unseen. Have you ever felt that way? When you look at yourself, and instead of love, you feel pain? It's strange, isn't it? We spend so much time with ourselves, our body, our thoughts, our soul, and yet we treat ourselves like strangers. We talk kindly to others, but speak harshly to our own hearts. We say things to ourselves that we'd never say to someone we love. I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful. I can't do it. These words become our daily soundtrack, playing softly in the back of our minds until we start to believe them. But what if that voice isn't the truth? What if it's only the echo of what others made us believe? Sometimes it's not our own voice that tells us we're not enough. It's the old words of parents, teachers, or friends who didn't understand us. They planted those seeds of doubt, and now they've grown into trees that block our light. Here's the beautiful part. You can change it. You can start today by simply standing in front of the mirror, looking into your eyes, and saying, I'm still here. Not perfect, not finished, but here. That's enough. That's everything. Because the first step to loving yourself is seeing yourself. Not the version people expect, but the real one who's trying, healing, and growing every day. You might feel silly doing it at first. You might even cry. But that's good. That means you're breaking the wall between who you are and who you pretend to be. Every time you say something kind to your reflection, you rewrite your story. You replace the old voice of judgment with the new voice of love. Remember this: your mirror is not your enemy. It's your witness. It has seen your worst days and still reflects your light. The mirror doesn't judge. It simply shows what's real. And what's real is beautiful. So, look again. Look deeper. Look until you see not just a body, but a soul that has survived every heartbreak and still stands strong. Look until you remember that you are not broken. You are becoming. That's the beginning of self-love. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, gentle, and honest. It starts with a simple choice: to stop running from yourself and finally come home. Love begins where avoidance ends. When you stop hiding from the mirror, you start finding yourself in it. And when you truly find yourself, no one in this world can take that love away. Chapter 2: The Voice Inside Your Head. There's a voice that never stops talking to you. You hear it when you wake up. You hear it when you make a mistake. You hear it when you look at yourself, when you try something new, or when you fail. It says things like, "You can't do this," or "You're not good enough," or sometimes, "Why did you even try?" That voice doesn't come from outside. It lives inside your mind. And most of the time, it sounds like you. But here's the truth many people never realize. That voice is not you. It's only a collection of thoughts, old fears, memories, and beliefs that replay like a broken record. It's your mind trying to protect you from pain, even though it often ends up hurting you instead. The problem is, when you listen to that voice too long, you start believing everything it says. You begin to think that voice is the truth, that you are really weak, unworthy, or not smart enough. When I was younger, I used to fight with that voice every day. It would say, "You'll never be enough," and I'd try to shout back, "Yes, I am a But no matter how loud I spoke, it always came back stronger. Until one day, I stopped fighting. I did something very simple, but powerful. I listened. I really listened. I wanted to know where that voice came from. I discovered that every cruel word it said wasn't born from hate. It was born from fear. It was afraid of failure. It was afraid of rejection. It was afraid of not being loved. And I realized that this voice was just a scared part of me, trying to be heard. So instead of pushing it away, I started talking to it gently. I would say things like, "It's okay. I know you're afraid. But we've made it this far. We can try again." It felt strange at first, but slowly, that voice started to soften. The words changed from, "You can't," to, "Maybe you can." Then one day, it said, "You're doing well." That was the moment I understood something important. Self-love begins when you change how you talk to yourself. The voice in your head can be your enemy or your friend. It depends on how you train it. Every time you make a mistake and say, "I'm so stupid," that voice becomes harsher. But every time you say, "I'm learning," it becomes kinder. It listens to how you treat yourself and learns from you. So if you want peace inside, start speaking peace. Think about it. If someone spoke to your best friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself, would you let them? No. Then why do you let that voice treat you that way? You deserve kindness too. You deserve gentle words, forgiveness, and understanding. Every morning when you wake up, try saying something small but powerful. I'm proud of you. Even if yesterday was a mess, even if you made mistakes, say it anyway. The voice inside might laugh at you at first, but don't stop. Keep saying it until it becomes natural. Because the truth is, your brain listens, your body listens, and your soul heals every time you speak kindly to yourself. One day, you'll notice something amazing. That voice, the one that used to break you, will start to build you. It will start saying things like, "You're strong enough. You can try again. And you deserve to be happy." When that happens, you'll know that you've taught your mind a new language, the language of love. Loving yourself doesn't mean you'll never feel doubt again. It means that even when you hear the voice of doubt, you'll answer with compassion instead of hate. You'll say, "I hear you, but I choose love." And that choice, made again and again, is how you become free. So tonight, when that voice starts whispering that you're not enough, smile softly and say, "I love you anyway." That simple sentence will do something no one else's words ever could. It will begin to heal the deepest part of you. Your voice is powerful. Use it to lift yourself, not destroy yourself. Chapter 3: The Wound You Keep Hiding. We all have a wound that no one can see. It's not on our skin. It lives somewhere deeper, in our heart, in our memory, in that silent place we don't talk about. Maybe it came from rejection. Maybe from someone who left when you needed them most. Maybe from words that still echo in your mind years later. Whatever it is, you carry it quietly, pretending it doesn't hurt anymore. But every time someone touches that part of your heart, you flinch, don't you? You smile and say, "I'm fine." But inside, you know you're not. This is the wound that makes you afraid to love yourself. Because deep down, it whispers, you don't deserve it. It tells you that you're broken, that you'll never be enough. And so, you keep busy. You help everyone. You distract yourself. But when you're alone, that pain comes back like a shadow. I used to do that too. I thought if I ignored the pain, it would go away. I tried to bury it under work, under laughter, under achievements. But the more I ran, the louder it became. One night, when everything felt too heavy, I stopped running. I sat in silence and let myself feel it. And it broke me. I cried like I hadn't cried in years. I cried for the person I used to be, for the love I didn't get, for the mistakes I couldn't change. But after the tears, something strange happened. I felt lighter. That's when I learned a truth that changed everything. The pain you face is the pain that heals. You can't heal what you hide. You can't love yourself fully while rejecting the parts of you that are still hurting. Self-love means sitting with your wound, touching it with kindness, and saying, "It's okay. I see you. You're safe now." It's not easy. Healing never is. But when you stop running from your pain, you discover that it was never trying to destroy you. It was trying to teach you. Every hurt you've experienced has made you softer, wiser, more human. Those scars you hide are proof that you've lived, that you've fought, that you've survived. And that survival is beautiful. Sometimes, loving yourself means forgiving yourself for what happened. Maybe you trusted someone who didn't deserve it. Maybe you made choices you regret. But listen closely. You were doing the best you could with the heart you had at that time. You didn't know better then, but you do now. So forgive yourself. Not because you forget the past, but because you deserve peace more than you deserve punishment. Every wound is a doorway. When you open it with love, you find strength behind it. You find compassion. You find the version of you who's been waiting to be understood. When you finally face that pain, you'll realize it's been waiting to be held, not hidden. So tonight, if your heart still aches, don't hide it. Hold it. Whisper to it, I'm here. I'm not leaving you again. Because for too long you've been abandoning yourself whenever you felt pain. But real love, the kind that lasts forever, doesn't walk away when things hurt. It stays. It listens. It heals. And when you finally give yourself that kind of love, you'll understand something powerful. You were never broken. You were becoming whole. The wound was not your ending. It was your beginning. Chapter 4: The Art of Forgiving Yourself. There comes a moment when you stop blaming others and start realizing that the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You can forgive the people who hurt you, the ones who left, the ones who didn't understand. But when it comes to your own mistakes, your heart feels heavy. You replay old memories like a movie that never ends. You think about the words you shouldn't have said, the chances you missed, the person you could have been. And in that quiet pain, you start to believe that you don't deserve happiness. But that's not true. You do. You always did. You just forgot how to forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean you pretend nothing happened. It means you accept that you are human. You accept that you didn't always know what you know now. You accept that you were learning. You accept that your past self was trying, even if the way they tried wasn't perfect. You see, life doesn't come with instructions. We learn by falling, failing, and standing up again. Every mistake you made was a lesson in disguise. When I finally forgave myself, I realized something. I was holding on to pain because I thought it made me a better person. I thought if I kept feeling guilty, it meant I cared. But guilt doesn't make you grow. It only keeps you stuck. Forgiveness is what sets you free. Maybe there's something you've never forgiven yourself for. Maybe you hurt someone, or maybe you hurt yourself. Maybe you gave up too early, or stayed too long. But think about this. If your best friend came to you and said, I made a mistake, would you hate them forever? No. You'd tell them, it's okay. You can learn. You can start again. Then why don't you say that to yourself? You need that same compassion. You deserve it. When you hold on to guilt, it's like carrying a heavy bag everywhere you go. At first, you think you can manage it. But as time goes on, your shoulders start to hurt. You get tired. You stop moving forward. The only way to feel light again is to put it down. You don't need to carry your past. You need to understand it. Learn from it. And then let it rest. Sometimes, forgiving yourself means writing a letter you'll never send. Write it to your past self. Tell them, I forgive you. You did your best. You didn't know everything then, but you do now. And that's enough. You might cry. You might laugh. You might feel nothing at all at first, but your soul will hear those words, and slowly, it will start to heal. Here's a small truth that can change everything. You can't hate yourself into becoming a better person. You can only love yourself into change. Self-forgiveness is not weakness. It's the highest form of strength. Because it takes courage to face your reflection and say, I made mistakes, but I am still worthy. So, if you're still punishing yourself for the past, let today be the day you stop. Let today be the day you choose peace over pain. You've heard enough. You've cried enough. You've carried enough. It's time to breathe again. Look at yourself right now and whisper, "I forgive you." Say it even if you don't believe it yet. Say it until your heart begins to soften. Because one day, those words won't feel strange anymore. They'll feel like home. And when that happens, when you truly forgive yourself, you'll notice something beautiful. The world will start to feel lighter. Your smile will return. Your heart will open again. And for the first time in a long time, you'll realize that the person you were hardest on was the one who needed your love the most. Forgive yourself. Not because you forgot, but because you finally remember who you are. Chapter 5. You are not what they said. There's a moment in everyone's life when someone's words cut deep enough to stay. Maybe it was a parent who said you'd never be successful. A teacher who made you feel small. A friend who laughed at your dreams. Or someone you loved who made you believe you were hard to love. Those words didn't just hurt you in that moment. They followed you. They became part of how you saw yourself. You started to believe them. You started to live like they were true. You began to lower your voice, hide your talents, and question your worth. You thought, maybe they were right about me. And even though years have passed, their voice still whispers in your head, louder than your own. But listen to me. You are not what they said. You are not their opinion, their judgment, or their misunderstanding of who you are. You are not their mistake in seeing your light. You are not the names they called you, or the limits they placed on you. You are something much larger, much softer, and much stronger than their words could ever define. When you start to love yourself, you begin to notice how many lies you've carried. Lies that told you you're not smart enough, not beautiful enough, not capable enough. But self-love opens your eyes. It helps you see that every negative thing people said about you came from their own pain, not your truth. Hurt people hurt others. They project their fear, their failure, their emptiness. Their words were never about you. They were about them. I remember the first time someone told me I wouldn't succeed. I was young, full of dreams, and I believed them. For years, I tried to prove them wrong. I worked hard, but my heart was still heavy. Then one day, I stopped trying to prove anything. I realized I didn't need their approval to be worthy. I didn't need their belief to begin. I only needed mine. That day, I set myself free. You don't have to carry their voices anymore. You can let them go. You can say, "That's your story, not mine." And as you do, you'll start hearing another voice. The one that's been buried inside you all along. It's gentle, but powerful. It says, "I am enough. I am capable. I am loved." That's your real voice. That's who you are. Every time you doubt yourself, ask, "Who told me that?" You'll be surprised how often the answer is someone else. And when you realize that, you take back your power. You take back your name. You stop living in their story and start writing your own. The truth is, you were born with everything you need. You were born worthy. But the world taught you to forget it. Now it's your turn to remember. Say this quietly to yourself. I am not what they said. I am what I choose to become. Let those words sink in. Let them heal you. Because every time you repeat them, you silence the old lies a little more. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are a story still being written. A story that no one else gets to define but you. The day you stop believing their words is the day you start hearing your own truth. And that truth will guide you, protect you, and lift you higher than anyone's opinion ever could. So if someone once made you feel less, thank them quietly. Because they helped you see what you are not. And now, you can finally step into what you are. You are light. You are strength. You are love itself. Chapter 6: The Love You Keep Searching For. We spend so much of our lives searching for love outside ourselves. We look for it in someone's eyes, in someone's approval, in the way they talk to us, or the way they make us feel. We think, if someone truly loves me, then I will finally feel whole. But no matter how much love others give you, if you don't love yourself, it never feels like enough. Because no one can fill a heart that doesn't believe it deserves to be full. I used to think love was something I had to earn. I tried to be perfect, to be kind, to be useful, to be whatever people wanted me to be. And when they smiled, I felt seen. But when they left, I felt empty again. I didn't realize that I had built my happiness on something I couldn't control, on other people's love. It was like trying to build a house on sand. Every time the tide came, everything I built washed away. Then one day, I asked myself a question that changed everything. What if the love I've been searching for is already inside me? That question didn't come with a clear answer, but it made me look inward for the first time. I started noticing the small things I liked about myself. The way I never gave up. The way I cared deeply. The way I kept trying even when I was afraid. Slowly, I started to feel something new. It wasn't pride. It wasn't ego. It was peace. It was the beginning of self-love. The love you're looking for, the kind that makes you feel safe, seen, and whole, doesn't start with someone else's arms. It starts with your own. It's the love that holds you when you make mistakes. It's the love that tells you to rest when you're tired. It's the love that doesn't walk away when life gets hard. That's the love you've been missing. The love that only you can give yourself. When you begin to love yourself, you stop begging others for the kind of attention that keeps disappearing. You stop trying to please people who don't even see your worth. You stop chasing relationships that drain you. Because now, you understand something powerful. You were never meant to find love. You were meant to be love. Loving yourself changes everything. It changes how you walk, how you talk, how you choose, and how you dream. It gives you peace when you're alone, and strength when you're with others. It teaches you that being single doesn't mean being empty, and being loved by someone doesn't mean forgetting yourself. It helps you stand tall and say, I am enough, just as I am. When you love yourself, you attract a different kind of love from others too. You attract people who see your light instead of trying to dim it. You attract connections built on respect, not fear. Because love always recognizes love. When you learn to give it to yourself, the world reflects it back. Sometimes you might forget. Sometimes the loneliness will whisper that you're still missing something. But that's okay. Just close your eyes and return to yourself. Remember that the person who has been with you through everything, Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every sleepless night is you. You have never truly been alone. You are your own constant. You are your own home. You are your own love story. And maybe that's what life has been trying to teach you all along. That the greatest love you'll ever experience is the one you build inside your own heart. A love that doesn't depend on who stays or who leaves. A love that doesn't fade with time. A love that grows stronger every time you choose yourself again. So stop searching for love in other people's faces. Start finding it in your own. The love you've been waiting for has always been waiting for you. Chapter 7: The Comparison Trap. Have you ever looked at someone else and thought, they're doing better than me? Maybe they speak more confidently, look happier, or seem more successful. Maybe you scroll through social media and feel like everyone else is moving forward while you're standing still. And without meaning to, you start comparing your behind the scenes with their highlight reel. You start feeling small, invisible, and not enough. This is the trap so many of us fall into. The trap of comparison. It steals your peace, your confidence, and your joy. You start to measure your worth by someone else's progress. You forget that your path is your own, that your timing is different, and that what makes you unique is not supposed to look like anyone else's journey. I used to compare myself all the time. I saw people achieving things I wanted, speaking in ways I admired, living the kind of life I dreamed of. And every time I looked at them, I felt smaller. I would think, why can't I be like them? Why am I always behind? But one day, while I was lost in those thoughts, a quiet voice inside me said, because you're not supposed to be them. You're supposed to be you. That one thought stopped me. It made me realize something simple but powerful. Flowers don't compete. A rose doesn't look at a sunflower and feel jealous. The moon doesn't compare itself to the stars. They both shine in their own time, in their own way. You were born with your own light too. But when you spend your life comparing, you cover that light with doubt. Every time you look at someone and think, they're better than me, you forget how far you've already come. You forget the nights you stayed up fighting your own battles. The mornings you woke up even when your heart was tired. The times you didn't give up even though you wanted to. No one can see those moments, but they're what make you strong. The truth is, comparison is a lie. You can't compare two people who are walking different roads, carrying different stories, and learning different lessons. You can only be inspired by them. Instead of asking, why not me? Start asking, what can I learn from them? Because the moment you turn comparison into inspiration, you stop feeling small and start growing again. When you learn to love yourself, you stop needing to measure your worth against others. You realize that success doesn't have one face or one voice. Your journey may be slower, but it's still yours. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you're on your way. And that's something to be proud of. You are not behind. You are not less. You are becoming, step by step, day by day. Sometimes, when you look at others, remember this. The people you compare yourself to also have doubts, pain, and fears. They have nights when they cry, and mornings when they feel lost. You just don't see it. Everyone is fighting a battle you can't see. So instead of comparing, send them love. Wish them well. And then Chapter 9. Becoming your own best friend. Think about how you treat your best friend. You listen to them. You comfort them when they cry. You cheer them up when they fall. You forgive them when they make mistakes. You see the good in them, even when they don't see it themselves. Now imagine if you treated yourself with that same love, that same patience, that same understanding. What would your life feel like then? For many of us, we've never learned how to be our own friend. We learned how to be kind to others, but not to ourselves. We know how to listen to someone else's pain, but not to our own. We know how to forgive someone we love, but not the person in the mirror. And that's why we often feel lonely, even when surrounded by people. Because the truth is, the loneliness we feel is not from the lack of others. It's from being disconnected from ourselves. I remember a time when I didn't know how to be alone. I needed constant distraction, music, people, noise, anything to avoid silence. Because silence meant hearing my own thoughts, and my thoughts weren't kind. I used to think being alone meant being unloved. But over time, I learned something completely different. Being alone is not lonely when you enjoy your own company. It's peaceful. It's healing. It's freedom. You can become your own best friend by starting small. Talk to yourself kindly. Celebrate your small wins. Forgive your bad days. When you're tired, instead of saying, "I'm so lazy," say, "I deserve rest." When you make a mistake, instead of saying, "I'm stupid," say, "I'm still learning." These little changes build trust between you and yourself, and that trust is the foundation of real self-love. Start spending time with yourself the same way you'd spend time with someone you care about. Take a walk. Sit in silence. Write your thoughts in a journal. Ask yourself questions like, "What do I really need right now?" Or, "What would make me happy today?" You might be surprised by the answers that come. Your soul has been waiting for you to listen. When you become your own best friend, something magical happens. You stop depending on others to complete you. You stop chasing attention because you already feel seen. You stop begging for love because you already give it to yourself. And the relationships you do have become more peaceful because they come from choice, not from need. You'll begin to understand that no one else can make you feel whole. It's an inside job. The more you build a friendship with yourself, the more confident you become. You start trusting your own voice. You start enjoying your own presence. You start waking up in the morning and saying, "I'm happy to spend this day with me." Of course, there will still be moments when you feel down or lost. But when that happens, your inner friend will be there to remind you that it's okay. You'll comfort yourself instead of criticizing yourself. You'll say, "It's hard, but we'll get through this." You'll stop abandoning yourself in pain, and that's when real healing begins. Being your own best friend doesn't mean you don't need others. It means you finally stop losing yourself in them. You stop waiting for someone to save you, because you've learned to stand by your own side. You become your own support, your own cheerleader, your own safe place. The truth is, you will spend your entire life with one person, you. So doesn't it make sense to make that relationship the most loving one of all? Start today. Look in the mirror, smile, and say, "I've got you." Say it like you mean it. Because when you start showing up for yourself, life begins to change. You attract peace. You attract joy. You attract love that feels real. Because it begins with you. So let this be your promise. No more being your own enemy. No more speaking to yourself like you're unworthy. From now on, be the friend you've always needed. Be the one who never leaves. Be the one who believes in you, always. Because when you become your own best friend, you'll never truly be alone again. Chapter 10. The Beauty of Imperfection. We all dream of being perfect, don't we? We want to say the right words, make no mistakes, look our best, and never fail. We chase perfection as if it's the only way to deserve love, respect, or peace. But perfection is a game no one ever wins. It keeps you tired, anxious, and scared. Because no matter how hard you try, there will always be something that feels not good enough. When you love yourself, you start to see that perfection is not beauty, it's pressure. It's a mask that hides the real you. And the real you is far more beautiful than any perfect image could ever be. There was a time when I tried to be perfect at everything. I wanted everyone to like me, to think I was strong, calm, successful. But the truth was, I was exhausted. I was pretending to be okay even when I was falling apart inside. And then one day, I broke. I couldn't fake it anymore. I cried. I failed. I admitted that I wasn't perfect. And to my surprise, that's when I finally started to feel free. That day taught me something powerful. Imperfection is not weakness. It's what makes us human. Your flaws, your scars, your messy emotions, they tell your story. They show that you've lived, that you've tried, that you've felt deeply. When you hide your imperfections, you hide your humanity. And when you hide your humanity, you also hide your light. Think about the people you truly love. Do you love them because they're perfect? No. You love them because they're real. Because they have little quirks, gentle flaws, honest mistakes that make them human and beautiful. So why do you believe you must be flawless to be worthy of love? You don't. The people who will truly love you will love you because of your imperfections, not despite them. There is beauty in the crack, in the stumble, in the not knowing. There is beauty in the way you fall and get up again. There is beauty in your unfinished journey. The Japanese have a word for this, kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. They don't hide the cracks. They highlight them. Because they believe something becomes more beautiful when it has been broken and healed. And that's you. You are your own piece of kintsugi art. Every time you heal a piece of yourself, you become stronger and more radiant. The cracks in your heart let the light in. Your mistakes teach you compassion. Your failures teach you strength. Your tears teach you truth. That's what makes you beautiful. Not your perfection, but your courage to keep going even when you're imperfect. So stop waiting to be perfect before you love yourself. Love yourself now, exactly as you are. Love your awkwardness. Love your scars. Love the parts you still want to change. Because every part of you deserves love, not just the shiny parts. Next time you look in the mirror, instead of finding flaws, find stories. That little scar? It's a story of survival. That tired face? It's proof that you kept going. That imperfection you try to hide, it's what makes you real. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs real people. People who fall and rise, who laugh and cry, who try and fail and try again. That's the kind of beauty that touches hearts. So take a deep breath and release the pressure to be flawless. Let yourself be a work in progress. Let yourself be unfinished, changing, and growing. Because the moment you stop chasing perfection, you start finding peace. You are not meant to be perfect. You are meant to be whole. And wholeness comes from loving every imperfect piece of yourself with gentle, patient, unconditional love. Chapter 11. The Strength of Being Alone. There is a quiet kind of strength that many people never learn. It's not the strength to fight, to win, or to shout louder than others. It's the strength to sit with yourself, to be alone and not feel lonely. It's the power to enjoy your own company, to listen to your thoughts without fear, to find peace in silence. Most people run from being alone. They fill their time with noise, music, messages, scrolling, endless conversations. Because silence feels scary. It makes them face what's inside. But the truth is, silence is not empty. It's full of answers. When you learn to be alone, you finally hear your own voice, the one that gets lost in the noise of the world. I used to hate being alone. I thought it meant nobody cared. I would reach for my phone, open apps, start chats, anything to escape the feeling of emptiness. But no matter how many people I talked to, that emptiness stayed. It took me a long time to realize that I wasn't lonely because no one was around. I was lonely because I wasn't connected to myself. One evening, I turned everything off. No phone, no TV, no distractions. At first, it was strange. My thoughts felt too loud. I felt restless. But after a while, something changed. I started breathing deeply. I began noticing little things. The sound of my heartbeat, the calm of the room, the rhythm of my breath. And in that moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. That night I understood that being alone is not a punishment. It's a gift. It's the time when you return to yourself, when you recharge, when you remember who you are without the world's voices around you. Being alone teaches you that you don't need constant approval. It teaches you how to comfort yourself, how to listen to your emotions, how to give yourself what you used to beg others for. When you master the art of solitude, you become unshakable, because you realize that your peace does not depend on anyone else. It lives inside you. You stop feeling afraid of being left, because you know you'll never abandon yourself again. You stop chasing attention, because you already feel seen. You stop pretending, because you finally feel safe in your own skin. Sometimes, solitude will feel uncomfortable. You might cry. You might face memories you've buried. But that's where healing begins, in the quiet. When you let yourself feel everything you've been running from, you start to release it. The silence becomes your teacher. It shows you who you are without labels, without roles, without expectations. Just you. And that's enough. Being alone is how you discover what truly matters to you. You start realizing which dreams are yours, and which ones you adopted just to please others. You start feeling what kind of life brings you peace. You stop asking, "What do people want from me?" and start asking, "What do I want for myself?" That's when you begin to live, not just exist. Loving yourself means not being afraid of your own company. It means sitting in a cafe alone and smiling. It means walking in silence and feeling complete. It means enjoying your time without needing to explain it to anyone. So if you ever find yourself alone, don't rush to escape it. Sit with it. Feel it. Let it teach you. You'll soon discover that the space you used to call loneliness is actually freedom. Freedom from needing constant validation. Freedom from noise. Freedom to be yourself. Remember this: people who can be happy alone are the ones who love the deepest when they are with others. Because their love doesn't come from emptiness. It comes from overflow. You are never truly alone. You always have yourself. And when you make peace with your own presence, you'll realize something beautiful. Solitude is not silence. It's your soul speaking softly to you, reminding you that you are always whole. Chapter 12. The Gift of Letting Go. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning to let go. To let go of people who hurt you. To let go of things that didn't work out. To let go of versions of yourself that no longer fit who you are becoming. We hold on so tightly because letting go feels like losing. It feels like giving up. But sometimes, holding on hurts more than releasing ever could. There was a time when I couldn't let go of the past. I replayed old conversations, old mistakes, old memories again and again. I thought if I kept remembering them, maybe I could change them. But all I was doing was reopening the same wound, over and over. It was like carrying a heavy bag every single day, one filled with regret, disappointment, and sadness. My back hurt, my mind hurt, and my heart was tired. Then one morning, I asked myself, why am I still carrying what life has already asked me to put down? That question stayed with me. I realized that I couldn't move forward because both my hands were full of yesterday. So, slowly, I began to release. Not all at once, just a little each day. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending that it didn't matter. It means you're choosing peace over pain. It means you're saying, this memory shaped me, but it doesn't define me anymore. It's about forgiving life for not going the way you planned, and forgiving yourself for not knowing better then. The truth is, everything and everyone in your life came to teach you something. Some stayed for a season, some for a reason. Some showed you love, others showed you lessons. But all of them helped shape who you are right now. And that version of you deserves to move forward without chains. Letting go is love too. It's loving yourself enough to stop reliving the pain. It's trusting that what's meant for you will never need to be forced. It's believing that endings aren't punishments, they're redirections. Sometimes life closes a door not because you failed, but because there's something better waiting beyond it. When you truly let go, your heart becomes lighter. You start to breathe again. The world feels softer. You begin to notice small joys. The sky, the wind, your laughter returning. You stop waiting for the past to make sense, and start living in the present where healing actually happens. Yes, you will miss things. You will miss people. You will miss moments that felt like home. But remember this: missing something doesn't mean you need to go back to it. It just means it mattered. And that's enough. Every time you let go of something heavy, you make space for something new. When you let go of guilt, you make space for forgiveness. When you let go of fear, you make space for courage. When you let go of someone who couldn't love you right, you make space for the kind of love that will. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself standing by a river. In your hands, you're holding everything you've been afraid to release: old pain, old dreams, old versions of yourself. Feel their weight. Now imagine placing them gently in the water and watching them float away. They don't sink. They move. They go where they need to go. And you remain lighter, freer, still whole. That's what letting go feels like. It's not destruction. It's liberation. So today, give yourself that gift. Let go of what's already gone. Let go of what no longer brings peace. Let go of trying to control what's out of your hands. Because when you do, you'll finally have space to hold something new: joy, hope, peace, and self-love. Letting go is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your next chapter. The one where you're no longer trapped by what hurt you, but guided by what healed you. You're not losing anything that was truly meant for you. You're just clearing the path for everything that's been waiting to arrive. Chapter 13. Learning to speak kindly to yourself. The words you say to yourself every day shape your world. You may not realize it, but every thought, every whisper in your mind, becomes the background music of your life. If that music is full of self-criticism and doubt, you will live with heavy steps. But if it's filled with kindness and encouragement, your days begin to feel lighter, brighter, and full of hope. Most of us grew up hearing that we should be humble, that we shouldn't praise ourselves too much. So we learned to criticize instead of appreciate. We became good at pointing out our flaws, our mistakes, our failures. We say things like, "I'm so stupid," "I can't do anything right," or "I look terrible today." We say it half-jokingly, but our heart listens seriously. It believes every word we repeat. Imagine this: if a friend spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, how long would you stay friends with them? Probably not long. And yet, we talk to ourselves in ways we would never talk to someone we love. We tear ourselves down when we need support the most. I used to do that all the time. Whenever something went wrong, I would blame myself. If someone didn't like me, I thought it was my fault. If I failed at something, I'd tell myself I wasn't capable. Those words became habits, and those habits became my reality. I didn't see how much damage they were doing until one day I caught myself. I had just made a small mistake while working, and my first reaction was to whisper, "You're useless." But something inside me paused. I realized I wouldn't say that to anyone else, so why was I saying it to myself? That small moment changed everything. From that day I made a promise. I would learn to speak to myself with the same love I give to others. It wasn't easy at first. My mind kept trying to go back to old patterns, but I kept practicing. Instead of saying, "I can't," I said, "I'll try." Instead of saying, "I'm ugly," I said, "I'm real." Instead of saying, "I failed," I said, "I learned." Those small changes began to rewrite the voice inside my head. You see, your brain believes what it hears the most. If you keep feeding it pain, it will grow thorns. But if you feed it love, it will grow flowers. You have the power to change that inner language. You have the power to become your own encourager, your own supporter, your own safe voice. Start your mornings with gentle words. Look in the mirror and say, "I'm proud of you." It might feel strange at first, but that's only because you're not used to kindness from yourself. With time, those words will start to feel like truth. When you make a mistake, speak softly to yourself. It's okay. I'm still learning. When you feel tired, say, you've done enough for today. When you feel ugly, say, I'm alive. I'm growing. That's beautiful. Because love doesn't come from perfection, it comes from care. Every time you choose kind words over cruel ones, you are healing something inside you. You are showing your heart that it is safe now, that it doesn't need to fight for your approval anymore. Think of your self-talk as the weather of your inner world. You can make it stormy or sunny. The choice is yours. So from this moment, promise yourself this: I will be kind to me. Not just when things go right, but especially when they go wrong. That's when your words matter the most. Because when life feels dark, your own voice can be the light. Speak gently. Speak lovingly. Speak with hope. Because the way you talk to yourself becomes the way you love yourself. And the way you love yourself becomes the way you live your life. Chapter 14. Healing the Inner Child. Inside every adult, there lives a small version of themselves, the little child who once laughed easily, cried freely, and believed in magic. That child still lives in you. Sometimes it hides, sometimes it whispers, and sometimes, when you feel hurt, lonely, or afraid for no clear reason, it's that child inside asking for love. The truth is, we all grow up, but that inner child never disappears. It carries every memory, every joy, every wound you've ever had. When you were young, maybe you didn't always get the love or safety you needed. Maybe you were told to be quiet when you wanted to speak. Maybe you were laughed at for being sensitive or scolded for dreaming too big. You learned to stay strong, to hide your emotions, to act like nothing hurts. But deep down, that small version of you still waits for someone to finally listen, to finally care, to finally say, you didn't deserve that. You were always enough. When I first learned about the idea of the inner child, I didn't really understand it. I thought it was just a metaphor. But one night, while journaling, I wrote to my younger self. I said, I'm sorry for not protecting you. I'm sorry for ignoring your feelings. I'm here now. And when I read those words back, I cried. Because for the first time, I realized that I had spent years taking care of everyone except the one person who needed me the most, the little me. Healing your inner child means becoming the parent you once needed. It means giving yourself the love, patience, and kindness that you were once denied. It's telling that child, you're safe now. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. It's holding your own heart gently and letting it know that the pain it carries is real, and that you are here to heal it. You can begin this healing in simple ways. Close your eyes and imagine your younger self standing in front of you. Look at them closely, their small hands, their hopeful eyes, their innocent heart. What do they need to hear? Maybe they need to hear, I'm proud of you. Maybe they need to hear, it wasn't your fault. Maybe they just need a hug, even if it's only in your mind. Give them that love. They've been waiting for it for a long time. As you do this, you may remember old hurts. You might feel sadness, anger, or confusion. That's okay. That means you're finally letting the pain breathe instead of burying it. Each time you show compassion to your inner child, you heal a piece of yourself that has been waiting in the dark. You'll start to notice changes in your life too. You'll become gentler with yourself. You'll stop being so hard when you make mistakes. You'll laugh more easily, like that little version of you used to. Because that child is not your weakness, it's your light. It's the part of you that still believes in love, creativity, and possibility. Sometimes, loving yourself as an adult begins with forgiving yourself as a child. Forgive that little you for not being stronger. Forgive them for not knowing what to do. They were just trying to survive. You both were. And now, you can give that child something they never had before: unconditional love. When you reconnect with your inner child, you reconnect with life itself. You begin to feel again, dream again, believe again. You stop needing others to make you feel whole, because you've learned how to hold your own heart with tenderness. So next time you feel broken, talk to your inner child. Sit quietly and whisper, "I love you. I see you. I'm not leaving." Let that be your daily prayer. Because when that little you feels loved, you begin to shine differently. You begin to live differently. And that's when healing becomes real. Not because someone else saved you, but because you finally chose to save yourself. Chapter 15. The Freedom of Being Yourself. There comes a time when you realize that pretending to be someone else is the heaviest burden you can carry. For years, you may have worn masks, smiling when you were sad, agreeing when you wanted to say no, acting confident when you were terrified inside. You did it to fit in, to be accepted, to feel safe. But deep down, you always knew that the person the world saw wasn't completely you. We live in a world that rewards imitation. It tells you how to dress, what to say, what to want, even how to love. And slowly, you start forgetting who you are underneath all that noise. You become a reflection of other people's expectations instead of your own truth. But one day, your soul gets tired of pretending. It whispers, "This isn't me anymore." That whisper is your freedom calling. When you truly love yourself, you stop apologizing for being who you are. You stop shrinking your light to make others comfortable. You stop changing your voice, your dreams, your heart, just to fit into someone else's idea of what's right. You begin to understand that your authenticity, the real, unfiltered you, is your greatest gift. I used to live behind masks too. I thought being liked was more important than being real. I agreed with things I didn't believe in. I laughed at jokes that hurt me. I kept quiet when my heart wanted to speak. I thought that's what kindness looked like. But I was wrong. It wasn't kindness. It was fear. I was afraid of being rejected. Afraid of not being enough. Afraid that the real me wasn't lovable. The day I decided to stop pretending, I felt scared, but I also felt alive. For the first time, I said what I truly meant. I started showing my real emotions. I began doing things that made me happy, not just what made others comfortable. And slowly, I began to attract people who loved me for my truth, not my performance. That was freedom. Being yourself doesn't mean everyone will like you. Some people won't understand you. Some will leave. But the ones who stay, they'll love you deeply, honestly, purely. Because when you show your real self, you give others permission to do the same. Your authenticity becomes a mirror where others can finally see their own truth too. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You just need to be real. When you're real, you glow differently. There's a peace in your eyes that no makeup or mask can ever create. There's confidence in your voice that comes from knowing, I'm enough as I am. And yes, being yourself takes courage. The world often tries to mold you into what it wants. But remember, you weren't born to be a copy. You were born to be a masterpiece. Every person's truth is a different color, and together we paint the world's beauty. Your color matters. Don't hide it. If people misunderstand you, that's okay. If they leave, that's okay too. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to live it. When you finally stop chasing approval and start embracing your truth, your life begins to change. You wake up lighter. You stop worrying about what others think. You start listening to what you think. You start dancing to your own rhythm, moving through life with ease and joy. So, take off the mask. Take a deep breath. Feel your own presence. You don't have to be anyone else anymore. The person you've been pretending not to be, that's the one who deserves your love the most. You are not too loud. You are not too quiet. You are not too much. You are simply you. And that is more than enough. The day you decide to be yourself fully is the day you finally meet peace. Chapter 16. The Love That Never Leaves. There is a kind of love that doesn't fade, even when people walk away. It doesn't depend on how you look, what you achieve, or who stays beside you. It's not found in anyone else's arms. It lives quietly inside you. It's the love that waits through every season, through every failure, through every heartbreak. It's the love that never leaves, and it's been with you all along. For so long, you may have searched for this love in others. You wanted someone to complete you, to make you feel special, to tell you that you're enough. And when they did, it felt like sunlight. But when they stopped, it felt like the world went dark, because you believed their love was your only source of light. But here's the truth. Your light was never gone. It was only covered by doubt, by fear, by the belief that you had to earn love instead of simply being it. The love you've been seeking outside has always been within. It's been the quiet strength that carried you through every storm. It's the whisper that said, "Keep going," when no one else believed in you. It's the warmth you feel when you forgive yourself, when you rest, when you finally say, "I deserve peace." I remember the first time I truly felt self-love, not as an idea, but as a feeling. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. I was sitting alone, watching the evening sky turn golden. And for the first time, I didn't wish I was somewhere else, or someone else. I felt complete, just me, just that moment. That's when I understood, loving yourself isn't about being perfect. It's about coming home to yourself, again and again, no matter what. Self-love doesn't mean you'll never get hurt. It means you'll never abandon yourself again when you are. It means that no matter who leaves, no matter what happens, you will still stand beside your own heart and say, "I'm here. I won't leave you." That's what real love feels like. Steadiness, safety, truth. You've spent years learning how to love others. Now it's time to learn how to love yourself the same way. With patience, forgiveness, and gentleness. Because you are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are the one who survived it all, and that deserves love. When you truly love yourself, you stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop trying to fit into places that don't feel right. You start walking with calm confidence, knowing that what's meant for you will stay, and what's not will fade. And either way, you will be okay, because you already have what you need: your own love. So take a moment now, right here, and put your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. That's life choosing you again. That's love choosing you again. Whisper softly, "I love you." Say it like you mean it. Say it to every version of you, the one who tried, the one who failed, the one who's still learning, because all of them deserve it. You've come so far. You've carried so much. And through it all, one thing has never left you: you. You've always been here, waiting to be seen, waiting to be loved, waiting to be accepted. So let this be your reminder, your truth, your promise. The love you've been searching for was never missing. It was always within you. It always will be. And when you learn to love yourself more than anyone else, life begins to love you back in ways you could never imagine. Because love, real love, was never something you had to find. It was something you had to remember. Thank you for listening until the end. If this message touched your heart, hold it close. Let it remind you every single day that you are worthy, you are enough, and you are already loved. Subscribe for more motivational audiobooks and stories in easy English. Share this video with someone who needs it today. And save it for the days when you feel lost or tired, so you can remember that the love you need has been inside you all along.